Hello everyone, my name is Misha and I'm an animator. I work for the studio ED Films and today I will be introducing you to animation. So in a series of videos, I will be teaching you all that I've learned about animation from school and from all of my teachers. So it's gonna be fun and let's just get started. So what is animation? Animation is basically frame by frame change in movement. So this picture here is from my film and you can see like I've shown the lines that show the before and the after drawings. So I'll show an example from my film. This is my film here that I'm still working on. And I'm just gonna play it back and then after I will explain more. So basically, we all know what animation is already. Like, we've watched TV shows and we kind of have an idea of how it's done, which is basically a bunch of drawings like in side by side in sequence. So here I just have different drawings in sequence, and if I click this button right here, it basically shows the before and after image. It's called onion skinning when you can see the before and the after image, and it's really useful if you want to draw the in-between frame. So all of these down here are called frames, and these over here are just how long I made each frame. So they're called holds. So for example, this frame here is being held for five frames. So this is just what a hold is called, and I can also make it just one frame only if I want. And usually animation is in 24 frames per second. I've changed the image to show it better, but this is basically just a bunch of drawings in sequence, and together they create a movement. And all of these are drawings I did myself, and each frame is drawn by hand. And if I want to insert an in-between, which means like a drawing in between the two other drawings, I would just create a new frame, and then I would turn on onion skinning, and I would see both the left frame and the right frame at the same time. For example, this could use an in-between. So I just draw, oops, it's blue. So I just to make the animation smoother, I can draw in between to add to the movement. And usually animators, they don't draw every frame. They usually recycle some drawings and just move it a little bit. But mostly, especially when making a short film in school, a lot of students, they draw like everything by hand, and it takes a long time to make a film, but it's really worth it because it looks really nice, especially when everything is hand drawn. It gives a really nice texture. So yeah. Well, I won't draw everything, but you get the idea. So let's continue. So the first thing I want to really explain is that there's not only one way to do animation. Animation can be done in many different ways. And that's the first thing that they taught me in school, because my school, the school that I went to, they really wanted to encourage creative freedom and expression. So they told us, don't stick to 2D animation if you don't want to, or don't stick to digital animation if you don't want to. You can do, material animation, which means you can use different materials like paper cutout, like sand. So here I wrote a list. I wrote paper cutout, pastels, mixed media. All of this is basically under camera work. And yeah, if you have an under camera setup, you can basically do animation in different forms if you want to. So here are just pictures from some exercises I did at school. So this one was a sand animation I did, which was really cool. This one was with pastel crayons, and this one was with pastel markers. And here I just showed a picture of 3D animation, just in case anyone wants to get into 3D animation, because that does count as a medium. Another good way to use mixed media for animation is for a documentary type film style. It's great for it because you can use like evidence from real life to tell your story, and it makes the story seem more real, So if you want to talk about an event that happened, you can use newspapers, for example. So I just put a picture of newspapers right here, and people have done films with newspaper before, like newspaper animation, and it's really cool. So yeah, it just adds texture, So now I'm just gonna show some video examples that I found on the internet. So the first one is a paper cutout animation, which is kind of nice. So let me play this a little bit.
Good dog. All right.
Yeah. And then the next one, this is one of like my favorite films, and it's basically just a mixture of many techniques. So they used pencils, they used clay, and they used digital art. So let me show you that. And it's made by Sharon Mirsky.
The blackout of 2003, it was hot. It was like the middle of a heat wave. Everyone that normally would have taken the subway was walking. When work gets out and those giant buildings downtown flush themselves out, it amounts to maybe even tens of thousands of people. And I was moving against that flow of human traffic.
You just realize that it takes a millisecond for this place to just explode, right? That there's great potential for all kinds of shit to happen.
Well, you first of all realize just how vulnerable we are. There was nothing to be done. There was no money to be taken.
And then the last video I will show you today is from a fellow classmate. I don't know if he's watching, but he made us all look bad at school because he was like really good and he came in to class with like top-notch quality stuff. But here it is, and I think it's like ink pen or watercolor pen. I'm not even sure. So as you can see, animation can be done in many mediums. You don't have to stick to digital 2D art animation if you don't want to. If you want to be more expressive or feel like you want to express yourself in a different way, there's options to that, and I just thought it was really important to show that. And so here are some. objectives that I will be covering in these series of videos. So I will be covering the basics. I will do the bouncing ball, and I will do walking and running. I will also do character design and background design. I will cover lip sync. I will cover a bit about characters and character rotation. I will do a lot about storyboarding and composition and color, and I will also add more to it. So stay tuned for all of these videos, and it's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a great time here. I want to know in the comments down below, what do you want to learn specifically, and I will try to focus on that more, you know? Like, I will try to cover as much as possible, but I want to hear what you guys think and what you want to learn, and I will focus on this more. And that's it for today. That's all I have for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next few videos.